Hey, there's still time to join the cycling men and women of leisure this cycling season.
There is. We've got two great events left for this cycling season. The first one's going to be on July 19th. We are doing the Rain Ride. And for those of you that aren't familiar with it, it is a one-day ride across the state of Indiana. 160 miles. Going to be a lot of fun. Certainly can join us there. You can check that out at rainride.org. And then our last ride of the season is going to be the Bourbon Country Burn. Yes, we're returning back to the Bourbon Country. That is September 26th through the 28th. And you can check that out at bourbon-country-burn.com. So check those out and come and join us.
The two events have two different styles of riding. The Rain Ride is 1 day, one way, 160 miles one way. But if you're looking for something sort of wagon wheel style, I've heard it called, you only have to set up camp once at the Bourbon Country Burn, and then each day that has different mileage routes depending on what you're looking for. They sometimes 30, 60, one day there is a century if that's what you want. Great times. We've been there multiple times. We heard it might be the last year. We don't know that for sure. Who knows? Someone might buy it. But just in case it was going to be the last year, the cycling men and women of leisure needed to be there.
Absolutely.
Well, it's time for Road Adventures with Cycling Men of Leisure, the podcast for cyclists who understand that riding is not just about getting to the destination, but the experience along the way. Now, here are the original Cycling Men of Leisure, Adam and Michael.
Welcome to Cycling Men of Leisure. Once again, I am Adam, and I am lucky again to be joined with my good friend, all the way from Central Time, Mr. Michael Sharp.
That's right. Central Time, because it is the right time.
Is centrally located behind everything.
And we are always central. Everybody likes to be central.
Sure. Okay.
I could be on the commercial to promote Central Time. Everyone should live in Central Time.
I see something in your hand.
Oh, yeah. I was getting ready to pour a little. Is that okay?
Yeah, but you still got that purse on.
Well, number one, it's not a purse. It's called a satchel for adventurers. Yeah, I've still got that on. I still have a fractured clavicle. For all you non-medical people, it's a broken collarbone. I love it how when my doctor came in and he's like, well, it appears that you have a fractured clavicle. And I was like, well, it sounds like I've got a broken collarbone. He's like, yeah, you're right. It's like, okay, you don't have to fancy it up and let's just say what it is. But I did, in watching the tour, who was it? Alaphilippe, day 3, crashed. And I was watching it and I was like, he went down hard and he just like laid there for a minute. And it's like, oh man, I know that look because that's exactly what I look like and how I felt.
Was there a hose in the ground?
There wasn't. There was another bicyclist in his way.
Gotcha.
Who came over into his line because it didn't hold the line. But he went down and I was like, I recognize this. And they immediately helped him get off because, you've got other cyclists and cars and things coming through. And he went over and sat on the side. And I was like, yep, been there, done that. And literally 4 seconds later, they were bringing out the sling. And I was like, yeah, he broke his collarbone.
It didn't feel good.
He fractured his clavicle. But he needed surgery. I didn't. So.
Oh, boy. But
when it happened, I was like, oh, I know exactly what happened because I had that same look on my face when it did occur. So I am self-medicating here. A new riff.
Well, now, you recently went on a trip. And after you pour your delicious, wonderful, tasty beverage, if you could please give us an update on your wonderful trip with your family.
I did go on a wonderful trip with my family. My wife felt it important that on my birthday we go somewhere exciting and fun. So for the week of my birthday, we went to the great state of Kentucky. We'd been to Kentucky before on the other side of the state and did, Pigeon Forge and Mammoth Cave and all that. This time we hit bourbon country.
Okay.
And we did some other family stuff. My son's big into antique shops, which is cool because I like those things too. And my daughter's birthday is the day after mine. And we went and had, like formal tea. And that was really good. I mean, you got to love Kentucky. They give you choices of tea. And one of them is bourbon, black tea. So I was, yes, please.
Yes, please.
Had the little sandwiches and the little finger desserts. And it was a lot of fun. But on my birthday, I think I went to 7 different distilleries just on my birthday. Hit a bunch of good ones. Hit some, Wild Turkey and Willet and Four Roses and all sorts of them, especially the ones Bardstown and the ones further down south, Lux Row, things like that. But it was a good time. And saw a lot of distilleries, and I have some ideas for our trip when we go. I got a couple ideas that I'm going to suggest, and I haven't talked to you about it, but I'm going to suggest that maybe we partake in a couple of things, maybe the day before or whatever. I think it could be fun, but had a fantastic trip. Everybody always asks, did the kids have any fun? Fair question. Yeah, they had a great time. I mean, we made sure that we
because I asked you the same question.
You did. And everybody else was asking, oh, you took your kids to bourbon country. Well, that sounds like a good time for them. But no, in addition to that, we also went to, there's a big candy maker, an old candy maker there in Frankfurt. Ruth something or other. I'm forgetting the name right now. We went and toured their factory, learned how they made their candies. And then we also went to the Louisville Slugger factory, the baseball bat people. Got something to show you. Showed us everything like, how they make the professional bats and how they make, bats for you and me. Everything from, after they've cut the tree down to the whole process and the finishing. And it was a very good tour. I would suggest anybody in Louisville stop by and do it. Not super expensive, very educational. I didn't know that much. I mean, I knew they had science into bats. I did not know they had that much science in bats. And I picked up this little piece of memorabilia right here, which you have not seen.
Oh,
it is
no.
the mini Louisville Slugger, but genuine Louisville Slugger with Cycling Men of Leisure.
I love it.
Engraved in it. So
that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So I now have an official bat.
So here's what I'm guessing.
Yes.
I know that your commute is 13 steps to work.
Yes.
And if somebody breaks into your office, they are going to have an imprint of Cycling Men of Leisure across their forehead.
Yes, it is very possible because I keep it right over here on this shelf, right over here. If anybody breaks into my office, let me tell you, they better hope that's the only impression they get on them. But that would be the quickest. I could just smack them upside the head and wander on out of here, cowboy. So,
ladies and gentlemen, this bruise has been brought to you by Cycling Men of Leisure.
No, officer, I didn't break into his house. Well, then why is there a imprint backwards of genuine Louisville Slugger Cycling Men of Leisure on your forehead there? Yeah, so
that's pretty cool, man.
It was a great trip. The weather was nice. A couple rain showers late in the evening, and we took our camper and we had a great, campsite. I mean, we didn't primitive it at all. I mean, it was glam camping all the way, but it was nice. We stayed right in Georgetown, which you and I have been to. And let me tell you, we've been through there a couple of times. Georgetown is a lot bigger than we ever thought.
Gotcha.
We come in there and we knew there's a college, and then we go down the old Main Street and, then over to where Bourbon 30 was. It's not there anymore because they moved. And that kind of looked like the whole town. But if you go south on that street, let me tell you, you've got hotels and restaurants and all sorts of fun stuff. So.
On behalf of Adam
and Michael,
we both want to say thank you
for your support.
Only
And-
because you mentioned Bourbon 30 and you have a nice picture of me from Bourbon 30 where it was. Did you go to the new place?
I did not go to the new place.
Gotcha.
Because I didn't know if when we went to the bourbon thing, if we were going to go there or whatever. So I didn't go there. But what was also cool is there was a restaurant in downtown Georgetown, right where we've ridden down, kind of candy cornered from that park where they always have like the rest stop. It's got that old cabin, from like 1804 or whatever, the historical marker there. I was sitting there and I ordered Stromboli. Very good. And I was going through their beer selection and I was astonished. They had Narragansett Lager. And for people who don't drink a lot of beer from, up north into, the Northeast, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, it wouldn't mean anything to you. But I hadn't had that since I lived in probably Rhode Island years ago. And it just brought back so many memories. I was like, no way, this is not, is this the real deal? And for those of you who don't know what it is, you have actually seen it if you've seen the movie Jaws, because the old shark hunter is like sitting there on his boat and he's like, singing the sea shanties or whatever. And you see him drink the Narragansett Lager and then crush the can. So
you're going to need a bigger boat.
You're going to need a bigger boat. But it was fun. But I also, while I was there, you went and visited your mouse with a house.
I did. I went to my place with mice. And
it's called an exterminator. But that's
so we've said a few times on this show that we both have timeshares there. My wife is probably going through one of the toughest times of her life. She's putting her father into a memory care center, and our normal trip that we would normally take, we were unable to take our annual time that we like to go down. And so with our timeshare, you have the same one. We can move points around. They let you to bank them for the next year, but they only let you bank so far. And so normally going to Orlando in July is not high on my priority list. But I had points that were going to expire, and I sure
use
that
them or lose them.
Yeah, and so I decided to use them, and it also gave my wife and I, first of all, Delta flights were only $220 round trip, which is unheard of nowadays. But and it gave us the time just to have a nice 5 days together to get away, and so really didn't average. I didn't even tell you. I mean, it wasn't like I was
like shocked because I'm driving, and all of a sudden my phone dings, and I'm driving, and of course, I'm a little handicapped right now, so it's like both hands on the wheel, all that. And she's like, "Oh yeah, hey, did you know Adam's in Florida?" And I was like, "What?" I had no idea you were going to Florida, which is okay. I mean, you don't have to, get your travel plans approved by me, but generally it comes up in conversation. But
Yeah.
I had known what was going on with your life and stuff like that, so I just assumed that it's like you and your wife got some time and decided to go down there and hang out. So that's cool.
Yeah, I kind of teased her and I said, "Are we going to be able to cohabitate in the same room?" Because we were hotel room by the airport, and then Disney for 4 nights, and then I stayed. You and I always do the same thing. I stayed at the airport in Orlando, at the Hyatt there, and then took the 5 a.m. flight back in the morning. And so the first night we were in the hotel, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to brush my teeth. So can I have the bathroom for a while? Because we have literally lived. Mm-hmm. She's been living in my father-in-law's in Ohio, so she's been living at my sister-in-law's house, and so she comes home for doctor's appointment or change of clothes, medication, but she's basically been there. And so it was nice to spend time with her.
Cool.
It was hot. I'm not going to say, but it was also the same temperature in Michigan. I was kind of watching home, and I think we all do that now with technology, but it was the same temperature in Michigan. It was ironic, but there was only one day that I was in Orlando that was just miserable. Just stupid hot. And we go there so much that, we know where the air condition is. We know where we can jump into gift shops or sit down or, let's go get a water or whatever, cocktail and a water. And we're not like people who buy like the hats and balloons every time. We just, we like to do a few things here and there. We like to enjoy. We're actually finding now that we're enjoying the resort more than the park, and so we were able to do that.
I gave you that. Did you get my advice that one day? You were at Disney World and it was super hot, and I was like, "Well, you've got to go to what is it? The Carousel
of Progress to take a nap.
Carousel of Progress. It's like a 20-minute that you sit down in one seat and it kind of goes around, but it takes like 20 minutes. It's air conditioned. The best place to take a nap. It's dark. It's cool. I'm telling you,
it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Yeah. You know the song.
Yeah, we did that. We did the People Mover, so I could sit back because it goes on different rides, and then I did do something fun with my wife. We did something a little bit different. And I made her get on the Tomorrowland Speedway, and she's like, "Why are we doing this?" I'm like, "Because pretty soon they're going to make it green and they're going to make it electric." That's only semi-rumored, by the way, but Disneyland says they're going to do it very soon. And I figured, I said, "Come on, let's do it." And there was it was weird because of the heat. There wasn't a lot of lines. We were able to jump on a bunch of stuff, and like Peter Pan's flight's unheard of that you can get on. We just like pretty much walked right on, and then.
Well, what kid wants to hang out, in the heat in those long lines? So I don't blame him, but
a lot of foreign tourists. They
didn't know any better. It's like, oh, hey, I get cheaper prices now. Let's go.
Exactly. But no, we had a good time. A few restaurants. It was just nice to spend time with my wife. So that was great. And no travel issues. And, you and I joke on this show about upgrades. We did get upgraded on the way down. I got to tell you, I had my best breakfast on a plane that I've ever had. I've been pretty lucky with work and travel and everything to be able to get in first class and get some meals and stuff. I got to tell you, I had this pineapple crepe breakfast, and I was impressed. I mean, it was normally it's a small sandwich and whatever. I mean, but you and I always tease because you're like, I'm back in the cattle car or whatever. But this was, I got to tell you, Delta on that meal knocked themselves out. Yeah, it was pretty good.
What's funny is I got all, you send me pictures periodically. Let me tell everyone out there, seeing Adam in these, because Adam's been there a lot. He knows where all the cameras are for the rides. So he knows where he, really needs to ham it up. Let me tell you, all of his pictures, he looks like, I'm going to say like an 8-year-old little boy on the ride. He's just always got this big smile on his face and his hands are up and he's like, woo, having a great, he would be the poster child, or in this version, the poster man of Disney, because he's always got these big smiles on his face. And I mean, it just looks like he's having the time of his life. So I enjoyed the pictures. Thank you very much.
Well, and to add to that, for fun for here. So when we do Space Mountain, it's, it's a childhood memory of mine to always go on Space Mountain. So, love it, love it, love it, love it. Makes me think of my parents and how we used to go to Disney when I was younger. And so I'm so bad with the cameras that I know that I'll even say to Lauren, now wait till the second flash and then look up here, look up at like at 3:00. And then she's like, well, how do you know that? And I'm like, just wait, I'm telling you. And so, cause we on Space Mountain, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so I was 5 and 6. And I said, okay, wait till the second flash, look at 3:00, hold your chin up a little bit. And she's like, how do you know all this dumb stuff?
You set people up for glamour shots on
that's
on
right.
roller coasters.
But you're right. The only one I didn't know was Tron. I still, it's so new that the picture turned out great, but I'm
good.
still learning where they're using, they got to be using like daylight cameras because I didn't see any flashes. But
yeah, I haven't been on that ride. It was there last time I was there, but the line was crazy and we didn't deal with it, but
yeah.
Cool. Well,
so no, had a good time. Yeah, had a good time. And then, the original plan was to go down there and then be home for a few days and head to Rain with you, which is why, if you're a YouTube follower, I am wearing the jersey that
one way, 160 miles.
That's right.
And guess what?
I wrote.
No
I
way,
wore it
no
yesterday.
way.
Oh yeah.
160 miles. You didn't wear it yesterday.
No, I didn't wear it yesterday. We were recording this before, but the jersey came in the mail, and we teased last time either possibly me riding by myself. We teased you doing SAG. We got a lot of responses. We asked for responses and we got them. And we thank you all for responding about SAG, things to have in the vehicle. And you and I just kind of had a heart to heart. And I didn't want to do it without you. I'm probably, for anyone who knows me personally, probably knows that I'm in the best shape that I've been in probably 12 years. I mean, of course, I had the health scare we've talked about on the show a few times, but and I've maintained it every day. And a lot of people say, how do you walk, and how does that go into cycling? And actually, they go hand in hand. And I know that I could ride the ride. I know that I could do it. But for me, it wouldn't have been the same. For me, it would have, even though you would have done the SAG and you and I have done all of these thousands of miles together, and the stories are our stories, and the show, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but how we're here today was our adventures. And it just didn't feel right to me that we were going to go do this ride. You were going to be, I mean, first of all, we had hotel expenses, travel expenses to get to the hotels. Then whatever we were going to do for a vehicle to drive, to Terre Haute, somehow get to Terre Haute. And if we kept our YMCA, because we had paid for the overnight YMCA, if we kept that, then did we get up at 5? And then did you drive 20 miles or 20 minutes down the road or 20 miles down the road? And then I meet up with you. And then once we started doing a deep dive, there were certain stops that they did not want support vehicles at. And so looking at it, we did email them, full transparency. If you know me, I'm an extremely transparent guy. I emailed them and asked them if they would make us. I know on the website it said about 4 times that there was non-refundable, and so we asked, not for a refund, but maybe to push till next year, and that we could do interviews or whatever. And it was about 2 weeks ago. We finally got the answer, which was just because of planning and logistics. They declined our offer, which is fine. I get it. I mean, they're paying for food. They probably had to have certain, being an event. Both of us did events before, events in our lives, either your auctioning or weddings or my weddings. And I get it. You have to hire certain people. You have to make certain cuts for meals and things of that nature. And so they declined our offer, which, unfortunately, things happened the way they did. I just did not want to do it without you. And I appreciate that, because I would have felt the same way. But I didn't want to clout your judgment if you wanted to go ride it. But I had already had planned that if I was sagging, I was going to take a little video every 20 miles. And I was going to somehow fake it, like I'm on the phone call, put my earbuds in and go, "Oh, you want to sag? No, you can't sag right now. Why? Because and have an ice cream cone in my hand or an ice cream bar. No, I'm having ice cream. You can't sag now. Keep going." That's the best. I mean, in Days of Thunder, if anyone's never seen that movie, Robert Duvall and Tom Cruise, it's like, I'm coming in for a pit. Not right now. Why not? We're having ice cream. And they're all got ice cream cones right out in the pit area. Yeah, I was torn a little bit because it wasn't that big of it. I mean, if it would have been like a 5-day entry fee or a 7-day entry fee, then it might have been, money to eat. And so I haven't sent you my bill yet. So don't be afraid. I'll be sending that over to you. Okay. Yeah, right. But we were only out like $140 for the ride. And I still haven't got my jersey. You're out $240 now. It's like, no, you at the beginning of the week, it's like, I got my jersey. I've been waiting, haven't got my jersey yet. So if you're listening and you're part of Rain, Michael Sharp has not got his jersey that he paid for. Not that it's a huge deal because I didn't participate in the ride, but still, Hello, American Express. How can I help you? Yes, I'd like to dispute a charge. Oh, sorry, Mr. Sharp. So
Don't make me do it.
exactly. I love that when someone says, "Oh no, we can't help you." Okay.
Okay. Well,
whatever you say. That's exactly why.
Amex is going to help me out. Trust me. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, due to the fractured clavicle, we're not able to do that ride. So it's very disappointing. It was really disappointing when the emails were coming through. It's like, yeah, hey, are you ready? And we're, bus is going to leave at this time and stuff. So yeah, I was very disappointed. But then I also look at, I wouldn't have been able to make 160 miles. Deep inside, I mean, I still got some pain a little bit. I'm getting better mobility. I think deep inside of me, I could have gotten 75, maybe even 100. But beyond that, there's no way I would have been able to keep going. And that is if, the roads were in really bad shape. Yeah, that would have been probably reduced by half. So, it wasn't worth potentially hurting it more, making it worse or anything. So.
And for our leisure community, I just have to tell you, Michael and I looked at all pieces. We talked about even you riding out with me for 10 miles, getting some photos, and then riding back, and then meeting me on the end, 10 miles in, and finishing it. We looked at all kinds of things, but really part of our friendship is not that we can't ride bikes without each other. I mean, I go out and train all the time. You try training.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Exactly. I used to tease you for not training. Now I understand why. I mean,
not doing it.
Yeah.
Set in my basement on my Peloton.
And I do all kinds of rides here in Michigan. I do the Dawn Farm, and it's something I'm proud to do, and one hell of a ride, and Tour de Livingston. I mean, it's something I can't ride my bike without you. But when we do these adventures, we did ORAM together, and ORAM one day ride across Michigan, and then the ride we don't speak about. And, we've done so many states on, Iowa. It sounds like a pompous, but Iowa 5 times and Georgia 4 times. I mean, it wouldn't have felt the same for me. Cause then here's what I pictured, just to be truthful with you. Oh yeah. Have you guys ever done rain? Well, he has. And that's kind of what, for me, it was like, it's a deal breaker. We do this stuff together. The show's about us and our adventures. It's not about my adventures. I mean, so then if I'd be like, oh man, you missed it. There was this one section and I was down on my bars and I was doing, you know what I mean? And you're like, well, thanks a lot. I did miss it. And then I thought, riding a ride like that, usually you want to go out to dinner and then it's the celebratory, and here I am going, yeah, I made it across the state. And you're like, yeah, that's great. And
I'd put on the jersey, one day, one way. And right there where it says 160 miles, I'd get some letters and put on there however many ice cream bars I ate during that day.
That's right.
16 ice cream bars, one day, one way.
Anyways, I digress. That being said, you do have a few well wishes. So on YouTube, Senscape Angie said, hope you heal well. Alex Bell and I were texting about Kentucky. Unfortunately, I'm sad to say he's not going to be able to make it. He's got another obligation. But Alex, we love you, brother. But he did wish you well, Michael.
Thank you.
And Melanie, our team member and Debrimware, I love you, Melanie. She has also wished you the best. So. A few others as well, but just want to know some notable people that we mentioned on the show. But
a Debrim would not have helped my situation. Just getting it out there to the universe.
I don't know. You might have had a better, like the sun could have been blocking, and you could have. I'm okay, just kidding. But
Tiltscape was off. It would no.
That being said, I think we'll move on.
I think it's that time.
Maybe rain next year. Stay tuned. So
we've only tried twice. Let's see, maybe third time's a charm. But
hey, I got this great jersey. I gotta get some miles here from Terre Haute to Richmond. So if you're looking on YouTube right here,
I've driven it before. Does that count?
Yeah, me too. Many a time. So
all right, I think it's time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. It is now time for the Listener Spotlight.
All right, Listener Spotlight. Let me go over the clues that I provided last episode. The first immigrants to this community were predominantly German and Irish. It began as a mill town, grist mills, cotton mills, things like that, wool mills. I can't even read my own notes now. The current town name came into existence in the 1840s. Blues and jazz can trace some of its early successes to this town. It sets on a historic trail, and I'm putting trail in air quotes. And this town sets in a community that the Secret Service probably would have wanted to either avoid or checked out more in our past.
Join me, Rails Eve, as I promote African tourism with my podcast, Keep Traveling Your African Vacation. I interview a diverse array of role players across the African tourism industry, giving you great insight into magnificent opportunities, hidden gems, and of course the wildlife. Learn firsthand from tourism artisans as to why you should spend your time and energy at their property. Every week, my show's guests offer great prize giveaways of free nights or complimentary activities that any lucky listener can win. Tune in now and keep traveling your African vacation.
So the first time you said that, I was like thinking Secret Service, assassination, attempt or assassination. I was thinking, okay, well, I know that on my mother's
not St. Louis.
I know. On my mother's sweet 16th birthday, JFK was unfortunately assassinated. And so I thought about, okay, Texas. But then the other things you said didn't match up. But Tom from Utah, he has said Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Gentlemen, I enjoy the show. Thanks for what you do. Please keep it up. So, but I was thinking like something like assassination attempt or something like that, but I don't know what.
Okay. Well, if we have no other guesses,
nope,
and it's not St. Louis, then I will let you know what it is.
It is not going to even insult you with a guess of St. Louis.
No. The town for Listener Spotlight is in fact Grafton, Wisconsin. I think it's up the river from St. Louis.
So
some river. It's up north.
I hate to do this, but Tom, thank you for taking the time to write us. But okay,
I'll give you a little bit more insight. It was originally named for a European city. The first immigrants were predominantly German and Irish. It began as a mill town. It's because it sits on the Milwaukee River. And it was big for grist mills and wool production. The record, as far as blues and jazz, can trace some of its early successes to this town. Paramount Records had a subsidiary called Race Records that was there. And they had a production studio, or they had a production facility and a studio there. And that produced a lot of the early records in blues and jazz came out of that.
Gotcha.
The
Secret Service?
Paramount, the record company's headquarters and studios actually moved there in 1925.
Oh, it was a great year, 1925.
1925. It was a good year.
My pappy got me some whiskey.
Yeah. I just got to move on here. It sets on a historic trail. And the reason why I put trail in air quotes is because it is actually one of the few northern points on the Mississippi Blues Trail.
Oh,
that's a real thing. So you can look it up. And then the other one, that was a tough one. It's the best I could come up with. As far as the Secret Service, either wanting to avoid this community or really wanting to check it out in our past. Charles Goutier lived there in the county as a child. And in 1881, he in fact assassinated James A. Garfield. So the assassin of Garfield in 1881 was from nearby this town. So you were going down the right road, though.
I don't think that's anything you ever want, like in your name, like Michael Sharp was an assassin from. I don't think that's anything.
Michael, on the highway signs, Michael Sharp, assassin of whatever president. No, you don't want it. And you notice when you drive up through town is there will not be that sign because no, we don't want anybody to know anything about that.
Yeah, that's what I say at work.
Darn internet.
I'm always telling people, I don't want to be in the paper for that. So no, we're not doing that. So.
Stupid internet. We'll leave those kind of things out.
Well, thank you. Thank you all listeners. But thank you. You said Grafton,
Wisconsin.
So thank you.
On the, what river did I say? The Milwaukee River.
Yeah. Well,
Blues Trail. If you haven't been on the Blues Trail, check it out. It's very interesting if you're into blues and jazz music, that kind of stuff. You can follow it all down. It takes you to interesting places like Grafton, which has, used to have a big record presence, that kind of stuff. Takes you through all these kind of interesting places that have associations, with the river, jazz and blues music. So,
well, thank you very much. That has been Listener Spotlight. We'll have a second one at the end of the show. I'm excited. I have a little surprise for you. Now, I must tell you.
Throw the flag now.
I must. Well, there it is. I must tell you that this is in the spirit of your bicycle clavicle fracture, collarbone break.
Clavicle fracture.
Yeah.
It's a collarbone break. Let's get it right so it sounds good.
You're our resident researcher for the show. I am the technology nut job and PR and marketing and all that good jazz. But the roles are going to be reversed for the next segment.
No. This can't be good.
I have put together some fun and surprising bicycle accident facts.
Oh, man. Yeah. The fact that Michael had a bicycle accident. How about that?
That's 100%. All right, here we go. Most crashes don't involve cars. About 73% of all bicycle crashes do not involve a motor vehicle. They're often due to a road hazard, ride error, mechanical failure, or a hose.
It did not say hose.
It did not say hose.
Okay.
But I thought that was interesting. So
okay. I would have thought it was much lower than that. But okay.
Little interesting fact here. I thought this number was crazy. Helmets reduce head injury risk by 85%. Yet, many cyclists still ride without one, especially among adults and recreational urban areas, which brings me to a good point. When I go to our metro park, in my area, I always talk about it, but it's a connection of parks, multiple parks called metro parks, and you can actually ride to each one of them through trails and stuff. I always love it when I see the kid head to toe. They've got elbow pads and knee pads and the helmet and streamers and like I'm surprised nowadays they don't have like an airbag around them. But the parent has got the helmet around the handlebar.
Yeah. You know what? Well, okay,
go ahead.
Never mind. No, well, I have a rant. Perhaps we'll save that for a rant of dissatisfaction.
Yes. We haven't had one in a while.
So I'll just keep that for later.
All right. But this is kind of interesting. Most crashes happen close to home. Around 50 to 60% of bicycle accidents occur less than 1 mile from home. Michael, I have a question.
Yes,
Did you
Adam.
hit the hose less than 1 mile from your house?
I'm going to say that the hose attacked me at about almost exactly 1 mile from my house.
Then okay, there we go.
Honestly, I think I think it would be almost dead on a mile. So
this next fact is not good for you and I.
Uh-oh.
You and I both have an M on our license for sex. Male riders are more likely to crash. Now listen to this. This is very interesting. Males account for 88%. 88. Now think about that for a second. Of bicycle fatalities and 80% of all injuries in the United States when it comes to cycling. So you have helped out the 80% cycling stats.
You're
sir.
welcome, gentlemen. You're welcome. Ladies, you're welcome too. But does that really surprise you though?
No, because there's more males.
Guys have a tendency to, just think they're invincible. But,
and do something stupid.
Yeah.
Like
go out cycling.
I'm going to take this time to mention that I always tease you about not training for these things. I'm like, how can you not train? And how can you not? This is why you don't train.
See, I think we've proven it right now that you should never get on Michael's case for not training.
I'm done getting on your case.
What happens?
I know.
When I train, I damage myself when we miss rides. So,
all right, back to some facts here.
Okay.
Time of day. Now, this is probably not going to be good for you. The most dangerous time to ride a bike between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. when visibility drops and traffic is high. Michael, what time was it when you hit the hose?
It was 11:21 in the morning.
Oh, man. Okay. You did not.
So close.
So close. All right.
No, it was in the morning.
Intersections are hot spots. About 30% of serious crashes occur at intersections, often due to cars failing to yield. Did any car have any kind of fact in your hose crash?
I would say yes, because there was the truck of the lawn care guy parked alongside the road, and he had all the hose strung out all the way back 155 feet of it, strung all the way back, single up the road, and it was on a curve. And then there was another car coming, in my direction. There was actually two, one passed, and there was another one coming. And so as I'm getting close to the car or the truck, I had to get over. I was like, hey, that one's passed. Now I can get over. And that's when it happened. So yes, indirectly there were cars involved, but it wasn't like a car pulled out when he wasn't. But there was cars involved.
Distracted cycling is real. Using a phone, listening to loud music, or riding under the influence contributes to thousands of accidents each year. My question to you, sir.
Yes.
Were you under the influence?
Under the influence of what?
I don't know. 11:21 in the morning.
Oh my God. As he says that, I pick up my glass.
Exactly.
But, no, I was not under the influence. I was not riding back from the bar that early in the morning, nor was I riding back from the bar from the night before. I was just out for a ride. I was not smoking, drinking, taking anything.
Urban areas see more accidents. Roughly 75% of fatal bike crashes happen in urban areas with higher traffic volumes and more complex road layouts. Did the urban area have any effect on your hose bicycle wheel interaction?
I guess you have to define, what do you consider an urban area?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be different because, like, in transportation, urban is a little bit different than, rural.
Because my urban area here is 5,000 total. So I wouldn't call that really urban area.
No. And that's in case Janine had her baby. That'd be 5,001.
Yeah, she hasn't had the baby yet, or didn't have it at that time. So we're still at 4,997. So,
and ending this, a little bit of humor. Percentages of causes of bicycle accidents: motor vehicle involvement is 27%. Cyclist error, turns, signals, things of this nature, 13%. Road conditions, potholes, gravel, hoses, 13%. Poor visibility and lighting, 12%. And riding under the influence, 8%. And mechanical failure, brakes, etc., 5%.
So what is the percentage of lawn care workers who leave 155 feet of hose strung out in the middle of the road? That's the same color as the road. What's that?
100%.
Oh boy.
Well, listen.
Those are interesting facts. I had no idea that you were doing research. Good job.
In the spirit of your hose wheel interaction, I felt as that it was my job to do some research for the show. So it's amazing what I'll do when I'm stuck in an airport for a while. So, Connie, it is now time for the official Armando update.
The Armando update. Very nice. I like that.
So we got a message on our Bragg Team Facebook group page, and I'm going to let you take this one.
This was so cool.
I'm letting you take it, buddy.
I was blown away by this one. Our buddy Armando, whom we've mentioned many a time on here, and we've ridden with him on many occasions, is traveling in France. And I don't know if it was just randomly or if him and Connie deliberately fixed it so that they were going to be at a spot where they could see the Tour de France. I'm assuming that's the case, but I don't know.
Well, I can answer that just real quick, and then I'm going to throw it right back to you. It was planned. He and Mike were talking about it, and said that he was purposely going to see the tour when he was there.
So, he sent a picture this morning, and that picture was him standing next to the Tour de France trailer. You know, it has Tour de France and the big yellow map of France, and he's standing there pointing at Tour de France. And what does he have on? But he has a Cycling Men of Leisure shirt, and that's right. So I thought it was so cool. It's like, all right, Cycling Men of Leisure has been represented at Tour de France.
That's amazing. Cool. I think that's...
But wait, there's more. About, 4 hours later, we get another picture of him. And there is our buddy Armando, still in his Cycling Men of Leisure shirt, with his arm around Phil Liggett, the voice of the Tour de France. And if you're not familiar with the tour and all that kind of stuff, that's fine. Phil Liggett is British. He, anytime you hear any commentary come from it, and it's typically Phil Liggett, Bob Roller, the two big, play-by-play color people that do this. Well, Phil Liggett has been doing this for I think this is his 53rd year. He's an institution. And here, lo and behold, Armando standing there with our shirt on. Well, it's his shirt, but Cycling Men of Leisure next to Phil. It was the most awesome thing ever. And what was even cooler is I remember a couple of years ago, him showing me a picture, and he made mention of it, is 15 years ago, he was at the tour and he got a picture taken with Phil.
That's cool.
And I remember him showing us that picture a couple of years ago. So, can we get any bigger than that? Cycling Men of Leisure has been represented at the Tour de France.
We will give some autographs at the end of this show. So
yes, to all the crowd and that kind of thing. But this year, the Tour de France 2025 is the 112th edition of that race. It's just got a phenomenally long history, and It's my big sporting event for the year. So really cool.
That's pretty cool. Joe Grammer, Dennis Keeler, Alex Bell, and Scott Garwick. What do all those gentlemen have in common, sir?
They all tried to escape from a maximum security penitentiary.
That could be. I don't know. I can't speak on that, but
I think it was like 1984.
Oh, that was such a good year, too.
Was a good year. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
These 4 gentlemen are monthly subscribers, and we appreciate you. And we just want to make a mention. So thank you so much.
Just joking about the federal pen. As
But
far as I
you?
know,
Yeah.
none of them have ever been in the federal penitentiary, as far as I know. So let's just leave it at that.
All right. Fair enough. I have something pretty cool. You and I are working on a special project. Can't talk about it yet, but we're working on...
Have you told me about it?
Of course I've told you about it.
Oh, okay.
We've worked on it together. So...
Yikes. Okay.
But we're trying to put together some marketing materials. We're trying to get some, put some stats together. It's not that big of a secret. We're just trying to find something cool to do. And with that being said, we needed an origin story. And we have a lot of new listeners ever since Bragg 2025, and some organic marketing that we did. We actually have some new people. And what I thought I would do is, before our last listener spotlight, I thought I would just take a second and read our origin story, because I was so excited myself writing it. And I thought this is actually something, after I read it to my wife, that she said, you should say that on the show, because if you have all kinds of new listeners, they may not know the history of our friendship. And so I thought, if you would allow me, I would read it quickly.
So this is our origin story.
Origin story.
Now, did you take the one where we were accidentally irradiated and we got the special abilities? Is that the one you chose?
We weren't supposed to talk about that.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I did not. I mean, I can still shoot webs like the best Spider-Man in the world, but no.
Okay.
No.
Generally, origin stories start out with radiation of some kind, massive trauma, which causes you to, go insane or
run over a hose.
Vindictive. Well, there you go.
No.
That's my origin story for never practicing cycling again, is the hose. So, anyway.
I always tell people I'm fully transparent. I put a lot of these facts together, and then I told ChatGPT to help me summarize it. I also told it to do an extreme deep dive by going through all 70-some of our podcast episodes and coming up and helping me get this thing right. And I got to tell you, the future of technology, history, things that can gather data and put data together is just so exciting to be part of this part of technology. Mm-hmm. Once I read this to you, you'll know that no, you're not excited about it.
Skynet.
Hey, they took that out of Universal.
It's going to happen.
It could happen possibly, but it still helped me get this thing right. So without further notice, here it goes. How it all began. In the middle of Iowa during the summer of 2016, Adam Baranski of Michigan and Michael Sharp of Kansas crossed paths on a famous week-long bike ride known as Ragbri. The two strangers quickly became friends as they pedaled side by side for miles, chatting about cycling, finance, and swapping memorable stories. By the end of the ride across Iowa, the lasting bond had formed out of their shared adventures on two wheels. They reunited 2 years later to tackle another Iowa ride in 2018. And their tradition of long-distance cycling adventures only grew from there. Every summer since, Adam and Michael have made a point to embark on at least 2 week-long cycling tours, along with several other multi-day rides all over the country. Through countless hours on the road and plenty of post-ride laughs, their friendship kept growing stronger with each new journey, turning miles into microphone. As the years rolled on, Adam and Michael developed a signature riding style, equal parts passion for cycling and passion for enjoying life. That started getting them noticed on group rides. In 2022, during a bike ride across Georgia, the duo could be found relaxing after a long day's ride with the bourbon and a cigar in hand. It was there, after passing cyclists made an offhanded comment about their laid-back flair, my apologies, that spark for something bigger was lit. Within a couple of months, they challenged the inspiration into creating Cycling Men of Leisure brand and online community. They launched a Facebook page, built a website, and most notably, started Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure podcast to share their road stories for cycling philosophy with the world. And yes, despite the tongue-in-cheek title, it's for women too. By late 2022, the podcast was live on every major platform, and by 2024, they were filming episodes for YouTube. What began as two buddies talking on their bikes became a show inviting everyone along for the ride. Our philosophy and style, Cycling Men of Leisure, is more than a cycling club or a podcast. It's a lifestyle and a leisure and life philosophy centered on savoring the journey. Adam and Michael believe in taking in the moment, enjoying the ride, not racing to the finish line. They're not opposed to ending a long day's ride with a celebratory whiskey or craft beer and maybe a fine cigar, a tradition that's become a hallmark of their style. For them, cycling isn't just about exercise. It's about the exploration, conversation, and the joy of the open road. They often say it's never about the destination, it's about the journey and the people you meet along the way. And we've met some wonderful people, sir.
Indeed.
The approach comes through every podcast episode. Their playful banter, real laughs, and good-natured teasing. Adam and Michael make listeners feel part of the gang. Episodes cover everything from epic rides and quirky small-town stops to gear reviews and recovery bourbon recommendations, of course. The vibe is always welcoming, whether you're a seasoned cyclist or just bought your first bike. You've got a place here. A growing community. Today, Cycling Men of Leisure is more than a two-man team. It's growing nationwide community. Adam and Michael have led groups of fellow riders on multi-day adventures, including organizing a 43-person team of cycling men and women of leisure to tackle the hills of Georgia. 33 riders from many states came together with CMOL for a team dinner, many meeting in person for the first time and even surprising the hosts with gifts of local whiskey and flasks. The kind of generosity and camaraderie is what Cycling Men of Leisure is all about. Since launching the podcast in late 2022, Adam and Michael have recorded over 70 episodes, filled with stories, laughs, gear tips, meaningful conversations. They've hosted interviews with cycling event directors, endurance riders, and other great voices from the world of two wheels, and they're just getting started. At its core, Cycling Men of Leisure remains of what it's always been: two good friends, a couple of bikes, and endless open road stories to tell. And as they remind the listeners on every episode, it's a great day for a bike ride. I mean, I know.
Wow.
So I gave it a bunch of information, but I told it to do a deep dive, and it literally combed through all 73 episodes of the podcast. It formulated that. It took about 25 minutes for it to put together. I actually thought it was broken. I'm like, did I really break ChatGPT? And then it said, we'll get back to you when we're done. And then it came up and gave me a notification. But I just thought that was...
That is impressive. That is cool. I know the story. You know the story, but it's cool to hear the story written out. I would have rather had the radiated special powers one, but that's okay. That's for another story. No, it's really, really cool. So I think it's neat that you did that.
Well, appreciate that. I figured if anyone hadn't known some of our story or some of the highlights that I would do that. And
I mean, who would have thought back in 2016 that day doing the 100-miler, we'd met, but we didn't really know anything about each other. You know, it's like hey, let's just finish this up. And we finished that up. Who would have ever thought that we'd be sitting here today doing a podcast and riding crazy rides and, fracturing clavicles and all that kind of stuff. So
I could do without the fractured clavicle. I'm supposed to be packing on the way to Terre Haute right now, but that's all right.
Technically, we should be in Terre Haute right now. But
I was going to say. And when you say that, for anyone who's never had a regular, I know people have regular meetings, but it gives us a chance to, we're obviously phenomenal friends, and our families have intertwined, and we think the world of each other. But this podcast gives us a platform to. And sometimes it's work. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it's like, oh God, we got to hurry up and get this done. But it gives us a chance to purposely continue the relationship and the conversation, and it's a lot of fun for me. So I know we're coming up on a pretty monumental mark, which is almost 75 episodes, which is just we're close, but definitely cool. Who would have thought? But
and you're right. We would still be friends without this podcast. We'd still be really good friends without this podcast. And we'd still be writing and that kind of stuff. But this actually gives us time where we set aside once or twice every couple of weeks, depending on, how much time we need and that kind of thing, for us to sit here across from each other, to see each other and actually, before we get into things, you were talking about my trip. I was asking about yours. We really have time to kind of deep dive into things because, we communicate all the time. Thank God with the technology we have, instant message, send pictures, that kind of stuff. But that's just on the surface. You don't really get a deep dive into, hey, this or that kind of thing. So it's really cool because this gives us that, not just the platform, but gives us an opportunity to sit here face to face and spend 5 or 10 minutes before we get into the business of podcasting to just chat with each other and catch up.
Yeah,
so it's cool.
Definitely. No, and I get asked a lot, do you still enjoy it? And I do. I do enjoy it. It's definitely a fun project. And then never in our thoughts, in the beginning, we actually said, well, if this thing goes 6 episodes, and we'll just say it was fun. And then now where we are we can see download numbers. It's not all about, quantitative. It's, I actually would like to say it's more qualitative now. What we try to put together. The numbers are still important. Don't get me wrong. It kind of gives us a benchmark of what's going on. But we're at the point now where we pretty much know what to expect of how many downloads, and when we get new people, we think
last couple of weeks, it's just something's been blowing the doors off of it. But what I think the true reward to the whole thing is, the numbers are important, but what the true reward is when we go out to these rides and stuff and people come up to us and go, hey, are you those guys? Or you're the guys with the podcast? Or I listened to you, or I really like that episode, or I really like this episode. Or when we run into our friends that we've ridden with, for a couple of years that we met because of Cycling Men of Leisure, and they're still our friends, and we're riding with them yet again. And it's that community that's grown out of this that for me is the biggest reward. Because, we've got friends all over the country now that we would have never had, even if we'd have went to these events without kind of doing the Cycling Men of Leisure and having the podcast and stuff. We would have probably never met and had the friendships that we've got. So.
Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely. This one side piece, and we'll get into listener spotlight. But in Georgia this summer, someone said, you sound like that guy on the podcast. Well, I am that guy on the podcast. He said, you sound just like yourself. I hope so, because it's me.
Well, that's the other thing that we get a lot is people are like, when they meet us, they're like, you guys are like exactly like you're on the show.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, yeah, because we don't create any persona or anything. We're not creating somebody different when we're sitting here talking with each other. This is how we are. And that's how we want it. We want it very genuine. Us horsing around is exactly what you're going to find when you see us hanging out after a ride. We're doing the exact same thing because that's just who we are. And I always love it when people are like, you guys are exactly like you sound on the thing, or you guys act the same way. It's like, well, that's good. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We don't want to try to make ourselves something different than we're not. That's not kind of our...
And we at Podfest, we met some people who do a complete different, where they I don't want to say act. I guess they do act.
They have a podcast persona.
Yeah.
That's different than who they are.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we could have done that. We could have created different kind of personas for us. But we were just looking at telling our stories, and this is who we are. But yeah, you're right. There are people out there that kind of have these different personalities when they're on, so to speak, than they are when they're in public. I think that is disappointing, because if they get people who are following them and then they meet them in real life, it's like, wow, you're nothing like what you are on the show.
And I think to bring that back, I mean, all of us before podcasts and before satellite radio was a thing, I'm sure you were in some vehicle listening to a radio station, and the guy's like, "Hi, I am DJ Jim," and then you meet DJ Jim at a mall, and he stands up and he's like, "Hi, how you doing?" You're like, "What the heck? That doesn't sound like the same guy," So I got a voice changer or whatever.
You're exactly right. I used to work in radio way back in the day, and I worked with a guy who did that exact same. He had a completely different persona for his radio than he did in real life. In fact, he used a quote unquote stage name. He didn't even use his own name, and that's fine. But it was just like a completely different person when he was on air versus off air.
Yeah.
So
I remember.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's not the way we want to work. So.
Yeah, I remember one time they're giving away concert tickets, and there was a line, and I went up and I said, "Hey, I just want you to know I really appreciate your radio show." And it wasn't like I'm making fun like high pitch. It wasn't like that, but I was expecting what I heard in my car day in and day out. And then when the DJ host, he said, "Oh, no, thank you very much." I walked away going, "Was that really him?"
What happened to Dave's voice?
Yeah, exactly.
Sunday at the Motor Speedway.
All right. Well, that being said, it is now time what everybody enjoys. A listener spotlight.
All right. Have a good one.
St. Louis.
We can all go home now. If it were St. Louis.
Yes.
All right. This city sits on a former main highway that is between two major cities. So it used to be the main highway between two major cities. Monopoly has nothing on this community's railroad. Got it?
So it's not Reading Railroad, not a short line. Just kidding. Go ahead.
The community was founded in the 1830s and named after a local ferry. This town was also shelled by the British. So that should start limiting the area. And the final one I'm going to give to you is George dreamed of a great victory in this community. George dreamed of a great victory.
George dreamed of a great victory?
Yes, sir.
Well, with that being said, since this is coming out on Sunday, I bet you the guys in Indiana had a great day for a bike ride.
I bet they did, although it was supposed to rain, so we'll see.
We will find out in 2 weeks, so always good to be with you, buddy.
And same to you, sir.
Thank you for coming along with Adam and Michael on Road Adventures with Cycling Men of Leisure. If you have enjoyed this, please subscribe to the show on the podcast app of your choice.
Hey, we just wanted to remind you that we've got some really cool products at our jersey and our swag store.
That's right. You can visit cyclingmenofleisure.com. At the top of the page, you'll find our stores page. Click there. There's 2 QR codes. The one on the left has a J on it. That's the store for the jerseys. The one on the right is just a swag store, has all kinds of different items, kind of customizable. You can kind of make the swag the way you want it. If the QR codes are giving you an issue, don't worry. Underneath, there's 2 buttons that you can click on. Thank you, and have a great day.